When most people think of kindness, they imagine a warm smile, polite manners, or words of encouragement. But there is a deeper form of kindness, one that doesn't announce itself loudly, one that doesn't need recognition or applause. This is the quiet kindness of the Sigma male. Unlike the Alpha, who thrives on leadership, or the Beta, who seeks validation, the Sigma is content in silence. He does not perform kindness for social approval. Instead, it is woven into his way of life. He helps not to be seen because it feels natural. His kindness is not in the grand gestures, but in the subtle ways he carries himself. Listening when others are too busy, respecting boundaries that others overlook, and offering support without strings attached. What makes the Sigma male's kindness so unique is that it often goes unnoticed. In a world that celebrates loud generosity, the Sigma's calm presence feels almost invisible. Yet those who experience it never forget it. His kindness isn't a tool for influence. It's an extension of his character. Perhaps this is why so many misunderstand him. To the casual observer, the Sigma might appear distant, detached, or even indifferent. But beneath this quiet surface lies a man of depth, empathy, and respect. He understands struggle because he has faced it alone. He values freedom, and so he allows others theirs. He has no need to control, and so he chooses instead to support. This is not kindness that comes from weakness. It comes from strength. The strength to act without recognition, the strength to remain true even when no one is watching. In this video, we will explore 6 reasons why Sigma males are often the kindest people you will ever meet. Number 1, they listen without judgment. Unlike others who rush to give advice, Sigma males are patient listeners. They offer a safe space where people can express themselves without fear of criticism. This quality often goes unnoticed in a world where most conversations are dominated by interruptions, unsolicited advice, and the constant urge to respond quickly. Sigma males approach listening differently. They listen to understand, not to reply. This makes their presence unusually calming. Psychologists have found that active listening reduces stress for the speaker, as it validates their emotions and helps them feel heard. In fact, research in communication studies suggests that people who feel genuinely listened to are more likely to open up and build trust. Sigma males embody this principle without effort, often creating bonds with others that feel deeper and more authentic. What makes their listening style unique is not just silence, but intention. They don't zone out or nod absent-mindedly. They pay attention to tone, choice of words, and even pauses. While others may rush to fill silence, Sigma males respect it, recognizing that sometimes silence allows someone to gather their thoughts or feel safe enough to share more. This mirrors ancient philosophical traditions, such as those of the Stoics, who valued restraint and patience as strengths of character. Just as Marcus Aurelius advised, listen patiently and do not interrupt when another is speaking. Sigma males naturally live by this standard. Their listening creates not just conversations, but healing experiences. It's also worth noting the psychological effect of being around such a person. When people speak without the fear of being judged or corrected, their brains release oxytocin, the same hormone linked to bonding and trust. This is why many find themselves confiding in Sigma males, sometimes even sharing secrets they would never reveal to others. The Sigma's quiet strength doesn't pressure or push, but invites honesty. In relationships, whether friendships, romantic partnerships, or workplace connections, this quality becomes invaluable. While advice can often be forgotten or dismissed, the memory of being truly heard leaves a lasting impact. In a noisy world filled with opinions and arguments, Sigma males stand apart as patient listeners. They remind us that kindness isn't always about words or actions, it's often about presence. And in that presence, people find a rare gift, the freedom to be themselves, unfiltered and unafraid. Their silence speaks louder than any advice ever could, making listening not just a habit, but a quiet form of leadership. Number 2, they respect boundaries. Sigma males understand that personal freedom is one of the greatest gifts you can offer another human being. In a world where people constantly feel pressured by society, by relationships, by social media to act, think, or live a certain way, the Sigma male stands apart. He respects boundaries without needing to be told. He doesn't demand attention, cling to others, or push his own agenda. Instead, he values individuality, both his own and that of those around him. This quiet respect for space is not just a social habit, it is in many ways an act of kindness. When you think about kindness, you might picture grand gestures, donations, sacrifices, or visible help, but kindness often appears in the smallest, most unspoken forms. Research in psychology shows that one of the most meaningful ways people feel cared for is when their autonomy is respected. Self-determination theory, developed by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, highlights autonomy as a core human need. When others feel that their freedom to choose is acknowledged and protected, they feel safer, valued, and more respected. Sigma males intuitively practice this. They don't try to control or manipulate. Instead, they step back and allow people to be themselves. This approach is radically different from more dominant personalities. An alpha may want to take charge of situations, while others may seek approval through constant involvement. The Sigma, however, finds strength in restraint. His silence communicates something powerful. I trust you enough to let you be. This lack of intrusion creates an environment where others feel free, and that freedom is often remembered as one of the purest forms of kindness. History and philosophy echo this idea. The Stoic philosophers, for example, emphasized respecting the natural course of others' lives and not forcing control over what does not belong to you. By practicing this, Sigmas embody timeless wisdom. In relationships, this quality becomes even more apparent. A Sigma male does not suffocate a partner with constant demands or expectations. Instead, he listens, observes, and gives room for growth. He understands that genuine connection flourishes not in captivity but in freedom. Friends and loved ones often feel a rare sense of peace around him because they are not under pressure to perform or conform. This kind of kindness may not draw applause or recognition, but it leaves a deep mark, because being truly seen and respected without pressure is one of the rarest experiences in life. Number 3, they help without expecting returns. For a Sigma, helping is never about recognition. Their acts of service are quiet, often unnoticed, but deeply genuine. Unlike those who extend kindness for applause or validation, the Sigma operates from a place of inner conviction. When they help, it comes from an authentic alignment with their values, rather than a need for others to see them in a favorable light. This quiet, selfless form of service reflects one of the rarest and most misunderstood traits in modern society, where social media and external validation often shape the way people interact. Research in psychology shows that altruism can take many forms. Some people display egoistic altruism, helping others because it ultimately benefits them, whether through social approval, reduced guilt, or the expectation of reciprocation. Sigmas, however, lean toward what experts call pure altruism, where help is offered without any personal gain attached. Studies in behavioral science, particularly on intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, confirm that actions driven by intrinsic values like integrity, empathy, or compassion tend to create longer-lasting impacts both for the giver and the receiver. The Sigma's quiet kindness falls squarely into this category. Consider the subtle ways they express it. A Sigma may notice when a colleague is overwhelmed and step in to shoulder part of the workload without announcing it. They might offer a listening ear when others are too distracted to care. They respect personal boundaries and give space, which is itself a rare form of kindness in a world where intrusion is common. While others might rush to post their good deeds online, the Sigma finds peace in remaining unseen, knowing that true kindness requires no audience. Interestingly, history offers countless parallels to this kind of understated service. Think of inventors, thinkers, or leaders who shaped societies quietly, often without public recognition until long after their passing. Many introverted innovators, like Nikola Tesla, contributed profoundly to humanity without seeking the spotlight, embodying the same spirit of selfless contribution that defines the Sigma. What makes the Sigma's approach so powerful is its purity. Their kindness isn't transactional. It is not a bargaining chip in social dynamics, nor is it a ladder to climb toward approval. Instead, it is rooted in authenticity. And because of this, their acts of service often carry more weight than louder gestures. People may not always notice, but those who do often feel the depth of that quiet generosity more profoundly. In a world dominated by performance and recognition, the Sigma male's silent kindness stands as a reminder The most powerful acts of service are not the ones that echo in applause, but the ones that resonate quietly in the heart. Number 4, they show empathy through experience. Sigma males often live introspective lives, guided by reflection and an awareness of the lessons they've learned through solitude. Unlike men who thrive in groups or constantly seek validation, Sigma males tend to be self-reliant, shaped by years of walking paths that required them to figure things out alone. This independence isn't born from arrogance, but from necessity. Many have faced trials without the safety net of strong social circles, and as a result, they've developed a quiet resilience. Psychology research shows that individuals who undergo periods of solitude often gain heightened self-awareness, emotional regulation, and even stronger problem-solving abilities, qualities that Sigma men naturally embody. Their inner life is rich, not because they choose isolation as punishment, but because reflection fuels their strength. What makes Sigma males particularly fascinating is the way their personal challenges transform into empathy. Having been through struggles, sometimes financial, emotional, or even spiritual, they recognize the weight of pain in others. Unlike those who dismiss suffering as weakness, the Sigma male understands that pain is universal. Studies in social psychology suggest that people who have experienced adversity are often more empathetic, as they can draw parallels between their own struggles and those of others. This is why Sigma males, despite their detached reputation, often surprise others with quiet acts of kindness. They might not broadcast their generosity, but when someone is hurting, their response is deeply genuine, born from the memory of their own hardships. In modern culture, where empathy is sometimes confused with performative gestures on social media, the Sigma male's empathy stands apart. It is not for show, nor is it used as a tool to gain popularity or approval. Instead, it emerges naturally in one-on-one interactions, whether that means lending a listening ear, offering practical advice, or simply respecting someone's silence in moments of grief. Many psychologists note that introverted personalities, which Sigma males often lean toward, are particularly skilled in deep listening, a rare gift in a world that rarely pauses long enough to truly hear another person. Ultimately, the Sigma male's life of introspection does not make him cold or distant. Rather, it refines him into someone capable of carrying both his own burdens and understanding those of others. His empathy is quiet but powerful. It doesn't come from theory or abstract ideals, but from lived experience. And that is why people often find a profound comfort in his presence. The sense that here is someone who has walked through fire, and in doing so, has learned not only to survive, but also to care more deeply for others along the way. Number 5, they value authenticity over pretense. Sigma males are often misunderstood because they move quietly through life, detached from the need for social approval. Yet one of their most powerful and defining qualities is kindness, and it is expressed in a way that feels different from the common displays of politeness or charm. Their kindness doesn't come wrapped in flattery or sweet words designed to win favor. Instead, it comes through a rare kind of honesty, an honesty that respects people enough not to deceive them. In psychology, honesty is strongly linked to trust building and healthy social bonds. Studies show that people who value directness are often seen as more dependable and stable, even if their words sometimes lack polish. Sigma males embody this principle naturally. They won't tell someone what they want to hear just to avoid conflict, nor will they inflate compliments for the sake of appearing friendly. To them, that would feel like manipulation, and manipulation is the opposite of respect. Their version of kindness is treating people with the dignity of truth, even if it means standing apart from the crowd. This trait also connects with cultural history. In ancient philosophy, particularly in Stoicism, honesty was considered a moral duty rather than an option. The Stoics believed that to live in harmony with nature, one must live truthfully, because lies distort not only relationships, but also one's inner self. The Sigma male seems to carry this timeless principle into the modern world. His honesty may sometimes make him appear blunt, but it also makes his presence refreshing in a society where surface-level charm often hides insincerity. What makes this honesty kind rather than cold is the intent behind it. Sigma males are not out to humiliate or wound others with their words. Their goal is clarity and sincerity. For instance, if someone asks for feedback, the Sigma won't sugarcoat the truth, but he will deliver it in a way that encourages growth rather than tearing down. This makes people around him feel safe because they know his words are not a performance, but a reflection of his genuine respect. On a deeper level, this form of kindness also protects relationships from the erosion caused by dishonesty. Flattery may win quick affection, but it fades when reality surfaces. Honest respect, on the other hand, creates trust that can last for years. This is why people who truly know Sigma males often treasure their companionship. It may not come with constant praise or grand gestures, but it comes with something far more valuable, the certainty that what you see is what you get. In a world full of masks, the Sigma's honesty is both rare and profoundly kind. Number 6, they protect without possessiveness. Sigma males may not be loud protectors, but their loyalty is one of the most underrated qualities you'll ever encounter. Unlike more traditional archetypes of masculinity that assert their dominance with boldness, a Sigma's way of protecting and caring is subtle, almost invisible to the casual observer. He doesn't roar to prove his strength, nor does he parade his dedication for applause. Instead, his protection is quiet, steady, and deeply personal. For him, loyalty is not about control. It is about presence. It is the silent assurance that when storms arrive, he will be there, not making promises, but keeping them. This type of loyalty is rare in today's fast-paced, transactional world. In psychology, researchers highlight that loyalty is strongly connected to trust and consistency, two traits Sigma males embody effortlessly. Because they value independence, Sigmas don't offer their trust or devotion easily. They take time to study a person's character, observing actions over words, but once that bond is built, it becomes unshakable. Their loyalty is not conditional on circumstances, trends, or benefits. In fact, studies on attachment styles reveal that people who form deeper, quieter bonds often provide the most stable emotional support. This explains why Sigma males can be counted on during times of crisis. They're not swayed by the chaos around them. Think of loyalty not as loud declarations, but as the subtle gestures of someone who notices what others overlook. A Sigma male might quietly take on extra responsibilities when a loved one is struggling, offer calm advice without expecting recognition, or simply remain present when silence speaks louder than words. Anthropologists suggest that throughout human history, communities survived not only because of hunters and leaders, but also because of those who worked in the background, quiet protectors who ensured the group's survival without seeking credit. Sigma males fit into this timeless role, guardians without fanfare. Entertainingly, this quiet loyalty often surprises people. Many mistake their reserved nature for detachment, only to realize later that the Sigma has been protecting, supporting, and standing guard all along. Imagine a bodyguard who never wears a badge, yet always ensures you're safe. That's the Sigma approach. Loyalty without control, protection without performance. In relationships, friendships, and family ties, this makes them invaluable. They don't smother with overprotection, but they provide a kind of quiet strength that is often more powerful than any display of dominance. And that, in its own way, is the purest form of loyalty. Kindness is one of the most underestimated strengths in human character. Society often paints it as softness, weakness, or simply as polite gestures, smiles, compliments, or grand acts of generosity. But real kindness, the kind that endures and impacts lives, rarely seeks attention. It operates in silence, often unnoticed, and this is where the Sigma male stands apart. Unlike other personalities who may perform kindness for validation or applause, the Sigma demonstrates that kindness is not about appearances. It is rooted in respect, patience, and the ability to let others exist without control, pressure, or judgment. This approach is not accidental. Psychological studies show that individuals who are secure within themselves are more capable of genuine kindness. The Sigma male, often seen as self-reliant and detached from social hierarchies, does not give out of a need to impress. Instead, his kindness flows from inner strength. Because he does not crave recognition, he can offer respect without expecting it in return. Having often walked the lonelier paths of life, he develops empathy for unspoken struggles. Research in social psychology highlights how those who have faced hardships are more likely to show quiet compassion, precisely because they understand suffering firsthand. What makes this unique is that a Sigma's kindness doesn't announce itself. It's not the kind that bursts into a room and demands notice. It lingers instead, like a subtle presence. You may not realize it at first, but over time you feel lighter around him, less judged and more respected. His patience, his ability to listen, and his refusal to intrude on your freedom create an environment where people can breathe. This is what psychologists call psychological safety, the sense that you can exist as you are without fear of criticism. Few people provide this gift, yet it is one of the most transformative forms of kindness. Perhaps this is why Sigma males are often unforgettable. Their kindness leaves echoes, not because they work to be remembered, but because their respect, loyalty, and empathy continue long after they've stepped away. In today's world, where noise, performance, and attention-seeking dominate, this quiet form of kindness stands out even more. The Sigma male reminds us of an important truth. The most powerful acts of kindness are not broadcast to the crowd. They are the ones done in silence, the ones that free others, the ones that remain long after words are forgotten.